Hello guys, I'm Ava, and I'll be your host in our segment about rich and famous people and their luxurious lifestyle. Let's get started! In solidarity with female bosses and boss ladies in the United States, we're going to take a look at the top 5 wealthiest women in the country. Today, we'll discuss a group of individuals who control over $200 billion in assets. So who are these super rich women? Where did their billions of dollars come from? Let us begin with number 5. Miriam Adelson, the richest Israeli, and the 44th richest person in the world, with a fortune of $31 billion. Miriam Adelson was born in Tel Aviv in 1945, the daughter of Polish immigrants. In her long life, she has accomplished a lot. She graduated from Tel Aviv University with a bachelor's degree in microbiology and genetics, as well as a medical degree. As a medical officer, she completed her mandatory Army service. She worked as a physician before founding a substance abuse center and research clinic in 1993. In the end, it turned out that being a doctor wasn't the lucrative career path that would make her the 5th richest woman in the U.S. Miriam Adelson married and had 2 children with Ariel Oakeshorn, a fellow physician. She divorced him in the 1980s and went on to marry late billionaire Sheldon Adelson, a marriage that was strong enough to land her on King Luxury twice. Sheldon Adelson was a former CEO and chairman of Las Vegas Sands, a $28.7 billion American casino and resort company. Sheldon bought the company in 1988 and turned it into a cross-continental, multinational conglomerate with branches in the United States and China. Sheldon Adelson owned a significant amount of stock in Las Vegas Sands and was one of the wealthiest people in America at the time of his death, with a net worth of $36.4 billion. He left more than half of his $48 billion gambling empire to his wife Miriam after his death at age of 87. She now owns 56% of the Las Vegas Sands company. For several years, she's been a major political player in the United States, publicly donating tens of millions of dollars to political candidates she supports. In 2016, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, probably because gambling your life savings gives you so much freedom. At number 4 is Jacquiline Mars with $33.3 billion. She's the world's 39th richest person and the world's richest person with a candy named after her. You may not realize it, but you just gave a few dollars to Jacquiline Mars. This is because Jacqueline and her brother John own roughly a third of Mars. The $40 billion candy company's popular chocolates include M&M's, Snickers, Twix, Skittles, and Mars. They also make pet food and provide animal care, presumably for the many dogs who inadvertently consume their chocolates. Ladies and gentlemen, this is referred to as cornering the market. So, who is Jacquiline Mars exactly? She's an American investor and the heiress of Mars Incorporated, the world's largest candy company. She was born into a wealthy family in Washington, D.C. She received a prestigious education at one of New England's first girls' boarding schools. She went to Miss Hall School in Pittsfield before attending Bryn Mawr College and earning a bachelor's degree in anthropology. Her grandfather, Frank C. Mars, founded the Mars Company in 1911, and she eventually joined it. Jacqueline worked for the company for nearly 20 years, first as a food group president and then as a board member until 2016. Mars has covered almost every edible aisle in the supermarket under her supervision. Did I mention that Mars Inc. also provides Olympic horse training? Although Jacqueline loves horses and occasionally attends equestrian events, she also donates money to the U.S. Equestrian Team Foundation's Jacqueline B. Mars Competition and Training Grant, which aids in the training of horse riders. Number 3. Julia Koch with $53 billion and the widow of the late David Koch. She's a member of one of America's wealthiest families. Julia was conceived in the year 1962. Her early years were spent farming and working for her parents' furniture store in Iowa. She moved to New York in the 1980s to work as an assistant to fashion designer Adolfo. Julia and David Koch met on a blind date in 1991, and things didn't work out. They met again at a party a year later and began dating, eventually marrying in 1996. They moved to 740 Park Avenue in Manhattan in 2004, which is still regarded as the most opulent residential building in the city. Julia and their 3 children, David Jr., Mary Julia, and John Mark, inherited 40% of Koch Industries following David Koch's death in 2019. Before his death, David Koch had a net worth of $53.5 billion, making him the 7th richest person on the planet. Julia was propelled to the top 10 richest women on the planet as a result of this. She's currently a member of the board of directors of Koch Industries, America's 2nd largest corporation by revenue, and one of the world's top 6, with annual revenue of $115 billion. Koch Industries does not make all of its money by drilling oil. With acquisitions like the $22.5 billion purchase of Georgia Pacific, one of the world's largest manufacturers and distributors of paper, and the $7.5 billion purchase of Molex, an electrical components manufacturer, they now pretty much do everything. Julia is on her way to becoming one of the world's wealthiest people, but she isn't all business. Julia is a president of the David H. Koch Foundation, a charitable organization that has donated nearly $200 million to a variety of causes across the country. Number 2. Mackenzie Scott is the world's 28th richest billionaire with a net worth of $62.2 billion. She's formerly Mackenzie Bezos. She was born in 1970 in California and was bitten by the writing bug at an early age. She claims to have begun serious writing at the age of 6. Mackenzie isn't just a raunchy fanfic writer on the internet. She's also a published novelist. Her debut novel, The Testing of Luther Albright, was published in 2005 and won an American Book Award. In 2013, she released her 2nd novel. Mackenzie was set for a career in literature after graduating from Princeton University with a bachelor's degree in English in 2013. Mackenzie Scott married Jeff Bezos in 1993. Both of them relocated to Seattle and founded Amazon. She was one of Amazon's first employees and was instrumental to the company's early development. She was in charge of the company's name, business plan accounts, and early order shipping. She even negotiated the first freight contract for the company. Their marriage, by the way, lasted from 1993 to 2019. As part of the divorce settlement, Bezos gave Mackenzie 25% of his Amazon stock, or about 4% of the company. This left her with $35.6 billion, making her the world's 3rd wealthiest woman. Despite of her valiant efforts to give away at least half of her wealth to charity, her net worth had risen to $62.2 billion by the end of 2021, like most billionaires on the pledge list. At the number 1 spot is Alice Walton. Alice Walton is the richest woman in the United States of America with a net worth of $66.4 billion. She's the world's 19th richest billionaire and a member of America's wealthiest family, the Waltons. Alice Walton was born in 1949 in Newport, Arkansas. Walmart was founded by her father in 1962, and it has since grown to become the world's largest company by revenue, earning over $40 billion. As you might expect, being the heiress to Walmart's founder can be quite lucrative. The Walton family as a whole is quite valuable. To be precise, $169.7 billion worth of lovely pennies. Walmart is more than just great deals and funny memes, it turns out. It has a net worth that exceeds the GDP of many countries. Alice has always resisted the allure of working for Walmart like her brothers, opting instead to pursue her interests. She has worked at several reputable financial institutions as an equity analyst, money manager, and broker. She was a president, chairwoman, and CEO of an investment bank she founded. Her company shut down in the late 1990s, so she moved to a ranch in Texas and began raising horses, presumably to reclaim her groove. She sold the ranch in 2015 and relocated to Fort Worth, where she would curate art at the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art, which she had founded on the spur of the moment. Which of these wealthiest women had a story that imprints in your mind? We'd love to hear your thoughts about it. Please comment down below. And that's the United States' wealthiest women who control over $200 billion in assets together. Thank you for watching. I'm Ava, your host. Please subscribe to our channel so you never miss a video in my luxurious segment. If you're looking for more, check out these videos. For now, goodbye and see you in our next video.